Greetings of the day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Convo with Apricus. Friends, the Indian diaspora, which comprises people of Indian origin living outside of India, has an important role to play in the politics of the country, and also this community contributes significantly to the Indian economy through the remittances they send back to their families in India, as well as through investment in Indian businesses and real estate. Let's know more about them through our discussion today on the topic Indian diaspora in Canada: role, functions, and dimensions. To throw light on the topic, we have our very special guest, Dr. Jagmeet Bawa, with us. Dr. Bawa is professor and head at Department of Political Sciences and International Relations, Central University of Himachal Pradesh in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh, India. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Convo with Apricus.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you for giving me this chance to be with your audience.
Thank you, sir. Let's start our discussion. Sir, could you please introduce what is Indian diaspora? What is the meaning of Indian diaspora and what are their distinct characteristics and current status?
Uh, this diaspora, is a very common word these days. When we are talking of diaspora, it means a people which have origin in some other country and they are living in another country. For example, today we have uh, you know, mm, uh, this discussion on which is related to Canada, Indian diaspora in Canada. So the people of Indian origin, the people who were born in India or their parents were born in India and now they are living in Canada. So because of their birth or because of their parents, they have uh, Indian culture in their upbringing, and they have a special attraction and affection for the India. And but they are living in Canada and they are contributing in Canada, but still they have their affection. They have their thoughts for India, and they will be known as the Indian diaspora in Canada. So people, once again, I will say the people who were born somewhere else and living in some other country, and they are living somewhere else. But as you know, Rishu, see, we are when it comes to the concept of nationalism or nation, we Indians we have a very different dimension of nationalism or nation state for us in comparison to the Western philosophy or Western explanations. The idea of nation in West is purely geopolitical, and the idea of nation, rather, I will say the Rashtra. In political science, it's all about the translation. We are using the word nation, and the nation's translation into Hindi is Rashtra. But let me tell you one thing very frankly. Both the words nation and Rashtra, they are not similar in meanings. Rashtra is having some other context, and the nation, natio, it came from the word natio, which
Mhm.
means people who belongs to a same race or same blood. But here in India, we don't have, that connotation. For us, nation is something geocultural. It's not geopolitical. Our concept of nation and, rather, I will say, Rashtra is geocultural.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I'm from Punjab and I know so many people, even you know that so many Punjabis who are living abroad now in Canada. There is a considerable people from Punjabi origin in Canada, and not only in Canada, in Australia, in England, in America, and all other countries, important countries, we have our own presence. I know the people who are living in Canada or in some other countries for the more than 30 years, even 40 years. But still, they have their love and affection for the country. And they still feel to be part of this country. For example, in Punjab, every 5 years we used to have elections here for the state assembly. And at the time of elections, know, thousands of people from Canada, they used to come to Punjab and they actively participate in the elections. And they have some or other party to which they support.
Mm-hmm.
For example, uh, the rise of Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab is 90% because of the Indian Punjabi diaspora in Canada, in America, in Australia, and England.
Mm-hmm.
So Aam Aadmi Party was majorly supported by the Punjabi people who are living out of India. So
Mm-hmm.
campaign out of India. Whenever they are aiming to attract Punjabi mindset, they used to go to Canada, they used to go to Sydney, Melbourne, England, and America, everywhere. I still remember when they were going to fought their first election in state election in Punjab. They have started a special campaign led by this Kumar Vishwas when he was the part of this party at that time. Why?
Yes, sir.
Because they all know very well that if they have the support of the Punjabi diaspora, then definitely they can have a say in the state. So whether they people are living in wherever they are living, their attraction is still with us. And we have seen it during the farmers' agitation. So when the people were agitating in the New Delhi, they were getting all the support from the from those countries, especially the Canada and Australia, through these diaspora only. So it doesn't matter where they are living, their affection, their thoughts are with India, and that is why you see at the time of farmers agitation there were some extremist elements who are living abroad and they were trying to burn an Indian flag tricolor.
Mm-hmm.
So I still remember a person known, he was named Vijay Agnihotri, and he was a very old man. He himself, he was the only one, and there were agitating people. They were 200, rather more than that in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But he fought with them, and he was he is having an American passport, and he is a American citizen for more than last 30 years. But still, he has not allowed them to burn Indian tricolor because he is still having the same feeling which we are having for our country. That's why I have said it in the beginning that our concept of nation or state is cultural. We
Mm-hmm.
are not taking it as a geopolitical. So for the Western people, nation is something very new concept for them. Westerns have used nation words first time in Vienna Congress during 1814 or 1815. Vienna Congress held in Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
The word nation used for the first time in West was during this Vienna Congress. Before that, there was nothing like this uh, nation or nationalism for them. And secondly, even after using this word in Vienna Congress for the next more than 100 or 130 or 140 years, the literal meaning of the nation which you used in the dictionary was the language. So, but our Rashtra is something, the word Rashtra is more than 5,000, 7,000 years old. There is a mention of word Rashtra in the first chapter of Rig Veda. So it's a very old tradition which we are following as far as Rashtra is concerned. So diaspora, again coming back to the question which you have raised, that diaspora are the people is stands for the people who are originated in some other place and now living at some other place, and they are giving their contribution to the place where they are living.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such an elaborated description. Uh, so, uh, when did Indian migration start to Canada? And how were the Indian people received in Canada at that time?
See, as far as the Indian diaspora in Canada is concerned, now it's almost more than 125 years old. the people who are living over there. The first ever uh, Indian people who went to Canada, it was in 1897,
Mhm.
and they all were the Sikh soldiers. Sikh soldiers were, you all know that Sikhs were having a very prominent place in British Army at that time. Sikhs fought in the First World War and even in the Second World War on behalf of the Britishers.
Mhm.
In 1897, there was a celebration for Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. Celebrations were held in London, and a group of soldiers which went to London for that celebrations. On the way to London, they halted uh, at British Columbia, BC. So during that time, these soldiers they were there for the first time. It was the first Indian entry into the British Columbia, and after that, yes, we had a long series when people started going to Canada in 902. Once again, this Sikh regiment they once again went to this Vancouver, British Columbia, where they were once again they were on the way to London. They were going to attend the coronation ceremony of King Edward VII's coronation ceremony, and then that is the time when the second time went to this Vancouver.
Mhm.
During their second visit of these Sikh regiment, it was for the first time then when they made a public appearance in Vancouver for the local people. They appeared there, and they and that appearance was very well, appreciated over there. But uh, it was, we cannot say that people were migrating to these were the visits only. They were not there to stay. It was they halted there for some time, but the permanent people, who went there for to stay, it was in 1904. Around 45 Indian people they went to Canada, and their purpose was to be there, and they wanted to uh, find work, or basically they went there for labor only. And it was in around 904, I think, when a group of 45 Punjabi people they went to that place. But once again in 1907, uh, 7 and 8, in between 7 and 8, there were around 4,700 or to 5,000 Punjabi Sikhs people. They went to Canada in search of labor and all that. What your second question, in the part of your question which you asked with me, how were they received over there in Vancouver? Were they welcomed or not? As far as their reception in Vancouver is concerned, uh, it was not very good. Rather, because there is a background to that also. Because Indian people they started to move to Canada in the beginning of 1900. As I'm saying, in 1907 and 8, there was around 5,000 people who went to Canada. Before that, there were only 45 people who went to Canada in 1904. But before that, there was nothing, even not a single person from Indian origin who was there in Canada. But the Japanese and the Chinese, they started their migration to Canada in 1700, and up to for the next 200 years there are too many so many Asian people comprising basically Asian, Japanese and the Chinese, who dominated the local society and even the market, even the industry over there, um, in the Canada. And because of them only, the local people they were not happy. They were angry with the Asian people. And when this big chunk, I will say it as a small surge even, when they moved to Canada in 1907 and 8, in a group of 5,000 people, it was alarming for the local people, and they have not taken it very positively. So they were not received well. So even they have, they came out to the roads. they agitated against their migration, and they have done each and everything to stop this agitation and this migration. They don't want any more number of people from India to move to Canada. So the first move, uh, the first migration was in the year of 1904. It is the brief answer to first part of your question. The second part of your question is they were not very well received. The local people they agitated against this migration, and they wanted all of them to be out from there.
Thank you, sir. So, what is the Indian chunk of the population in Canada, and what is the largest Indian community in which is the largest Indian community in Canada?
See, India has a very considerable nowadays. Indians have a very considerable number in Canada. Indian population, is more than 5% of the total population in Canada now. When I'm saying 5%, 5% is a considerable, chunk of the total population. But in case we compare it to the Chinese people, it is far less. Chinese, they are very big in number, far ahead of Indians. But still, we have more than, I think, 5.2%, 5.15 people of total population are Indians. As far as the Indians are concerned, in Indians, the biggest number, I think around, they had their last census in 2021. And during that census, almost 2 million Indian diaspora is there. The people of Indian origin the number is 2 million. A big number it is. For a country which is having uh, 3.5 crore people, total population is less than 4 crore, 3.5 or 3.6 crore people they are having total number. And out of that, 2 million are Indian. So it is a good number. And the second thing is, which you have asked me in your question, uh, out of these 2 million, more than 1 million are Punjabis only. 2.6% of the total Canadian population is, as per this 2021 census, 2.6% of the total population is only Punjabis. And these Punjabis, their number is really considerable. And when we compare their role to their number, their role is far bigger. Though they are only 2.5%, 2.6% of the total population, but they are dominating a bigger section of the society, especially in British Columbia, Ontario state also. These are the two big states which are badly dominated by, badly will not be the right word, I think. They are properly dominated by the Punjabi community. After Punjabi, the second biggest community is Gujarati, but very small in number. That is maybe 1 lakh or maybe more. They're very small in comparison to Punjabi number. But though their number is small, but the Gujarati community, they are doing very well as far as the business is concerned.
Yes.
Since 907, when the Punjabis they have started moving to Canada, especially the British Columbia, the first people who went to Canada from India, their first destination was the British Columbia till date. They always prefer to go to BC or otherwise. Yes, Ontario now people are starting moving to Edmonton and all other places also. But the first preference is still date is the BC, British Columbia, or the Ontario. The people who migrated to this BC, the mainly they were into the labor category. They were not in higher ranks. They were working in the farms, they were working in the railways, they were working in the lumber mills. Lumber mills, there was a big number of Punjabis who were working in the lumber mills. Or in the people who went to Ontario, they were into this industry also. But the initial numbers, they were into the farming, lumber mill, and this railways only. Now they are dominating each and every aspect of the society, starting from the labor to the high up. Even they are judges, high police officers, administrative officers, and the common people from Punjab or from India, especially from Punjab, they are into the trucking industry because trucks in Canada, they are the lifeline of the Canada. They are moving all the way, covering the entire Canada to the US and then back. So trucking industry is dominated by the Punjabi community and the Gujarati community, which is good in number in Canada. They are dominating the business there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the information. Uh, Sir, what is the Canadian Indian community's role in Indian politics? What policy changes do you recommend so that the government is able to attract them for the benefit of their native country?
Uh, this is a very, the second part of your question is very difficult to be addressed. But as far as their role in Indian politics is concerned, that I have already mentioned in the beginning. Before coming to that, I will say even in Canada also, their role in Canadian politics is, uh, very important, very important role they have. Nowadays, there are total 19 Indian MPs in Canada, member parliaments. The people who are having Indian origin and they are the member of parliaments in Canada, their number is 19. Out of these 19 member parliaments, 18 belongs to Punjab. And in the state assemblies, their presence is really very dominating, especially in British Columbia and Ontario. BC is the biggest state in Canada, and for a good amount of time, their premier, you can call the CM, Chief Minister of the state, was Ujjal Dosanjh, a guy from Jalandhar, Punjab only. And even in the federal cabinet, uh, the defense minister, Mr. Sajjan, and some others also, they are from Punjab region, cabinet ministers in the Trudeau cabinet, especially. And Trudeau know it very well that the support of this Punjabi community is really important for him. That is why during the last, just before the last elections, parliamentary elections in Canada, Trudeau came to India and he visited this Golden Temple, Amritsar, and all that. And he's very well known for his support to not only to the Punjabi and Indian diaspora, but also to his support to the extremist extremist groups, Khalistani groups, which are there in Canada. And it is, considered that he's very polite towards them, and his policies are always favoring them. So this is the one thing. Even he's not in the majority. He's enjoying the majority with the other party's support, which is headed by Jagmeet. He's head of the party and he's from Punjab only. So he's into the alliance and his alliance partner is a Punjabi also. So in Canada, Punjabis, they, especially the Punjabis, because, out of 1918 member parliaments are from Punjab. And even in the state assemblies, they have a very good number. Even in the local politics, they have a very good number. So they all are doing well as far as the presence, their political presence and political activism is concerned. Now coming back to the role uh, in India. This is something which is, we need to see it at a length. Why? Earlier, 40 years back, 50 years back, or what, in Punjab especially, there used to be, every family used to have 3 or 4 sons, out of which they used to send 2 of them to Canada and the remaining they used to live here in India. And what they used to do, those who are in Canada, they used to earn good amount of money and they used to send back the money so that they may buy farmlands, property, whatever there here in India. So that is why one of the reason of the prosperity of the state Punjab is the remittances which were coming from the Canada, Australia, Canada, and England, all other countries. But for the last 10 to 20 years, the scenario is badly changed. In the last, up to 2000, the total amount of foreign direct investment which came to India is far less than the remittances which the state of Punjab used to receive from the diaspora. More than double, more than double the money we used to receive from the remittances other than the FDI. But now, in the last 20 years, the scenario is altogether changed. Why? Now the families, they used to have only one son or at the maximum two children, whatever the composition, maybe two girls child, two boy child, one girl, one child, one. People used to have two children. And earlier they used to send one child to abroad, the other one used to work here. Nowadays, everyone is willing to go out here in Punjab. What I have seen in the last 15 to 18 years,
Yes.
that if any family is having one child, two child, they all are moving to Canada. When they all are moving to Canada or to other states, they need to they need not to ask their son or the daughter to send back the money because they are moving out. Now, what they are doing here, they are selling their property, they are selling their farms, and they are investing the money in Canada, in Australia, and that's what the people are now. It has an adverse effect on, especially on the economy. There is another fact that the economy of Australia and Canada badly depends upon the international students.
Mhm.
So their economy is dependent on them rather. So what the people are doing, they are charging 30 lakh from one student, 40 lakh rupees from one student, 50 lakh rupees from one student per year. So when the lakhs of the students are moving in a big number, they are in a flux now, they are moving towards those countries. They are not moving alone, they are moving along with a good amount of money also. You know, right now I'm not having exactly data with me, which was released last month only by the government of Punjab. A very huge amount of money that we have transferred from Punjab to Canada or to Australia in the last 1 year. The number is really very high. When everyone is, investing 30 lakh rupees per year on the name of the fees, uh, you know, so this is now this is something which is affecting the Punjabi economy badly. This is the one aspect which is related to the economy. Now, which you have not asked, I'll try to cover it because it's a very important aspect. The second thing is how they are affecting Indian politics, the politics in India, especially in Punjab. As I have told you right in the beginning, uh, you know, the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party is mainly because of this diaspora. Not only they have given them a good amount of money as a support, rather all the people, a big chunk of diaspora, in Punjabi diaspora, they flew back to India at the time of elections, and they made sure that they will all their friends, their relatives, and their close ones are going to vote for Aam Aadmi. So, that is why they have gained a big support. They won 92 seats out of 117, a very thumping majority they have got. And the major role in this victory is just because of the diaspora, those are living outside. So they are playing a good role here. Not only Aam Aadmi Party, this Aam Aadmi Party came to being on in the last 6 or 7 years, 8 years here. Even before that, you know why this Aam Aadmi Party is doing well only in Punjab? See, recently we have elections in 5 states, and out of those 5 states, Aam Aadmi Party contested elections in 3 states: Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and this Madhya Pradesh. And their they their vote percent is less than half, 0.5% they got in these states, and they were not able to win even a single seat over there. But why they are so successful here in Punjab? Simply because of this NRI peoples, this diaspora, those people who are living abroad. Because of them only, they have made a very significant presence here in Punjab. The diaspora people, they are having a very unique feature. They are always interested in politics. They always played a very active role in the politics. They are not a politically passive people as some other communities. Politically, they are always active, and they are always eager to play a main role in the politics. And earlier they used to have this Akali Dal. They used to have their NRI wing. Overseas Congress we used to have. Even now the BJP friends, the friends of the BJP, we have another organization which just to gain the support of those people here in back here in India. So they were always active, and they always supported some or other party in the state of Punjab. Their role is very prominent. And the last section of your question which you have asked me, what can government of India do for to cash their emotions for our country? How we can take advantages of their investments and all that. So it is something which is going to differ from state to state. As far as the uh, this Gujarat is concerned, the people of Gujarat, they are business friendly people, and that is why they are doing some lot of investments. They are doing they are doing here in Gujarat even. So, but here in Punjabi community, it is going to be a bit tough for the next some time for these NRI people, because for the last 1 year, what we have seen here, we have a dispute here with this, especially with the Canada, as far as the issue of Khalistan is there. So even I need not to go into the details of all that what is happening over there, especially with the this Khalistan agitation, Khalistan movement, which is going on even in Punjab. The Indian government has blamed that this Khalistani movement is always supported by the Canadian government, especially by this ongoing Trudeau government, which is very, they are not taking strict measures against the people who are living there in Canada, and they are working against India. Even they are attacking the embassy, Indian High Commissioner's office in Vancouver, Toronto, and in other parts of the Canada. So there was really government of Canada has not shown any sort of aggression against those people. So after that, it is really tough for us now. The question is not that how can we attract them to work for country. Now the important question is, now we need to adopt this sort of diplomatic measures to improve the relations with the two countries. Now, relationship between India and Canada, for 2 months back, they were on the standstill. They were frozen. But there is some ice breaking in the last 1 month, and government of India has adopted some measures. They are trying to improve the relations. Now, in case government is not going to act proactively, the situation is going to be more grim. We need to, our government, not only our government, both the governments, they need to be proactive to improve the relations between two countries. Why? Because of the reason we both are dependent on each other. Not only Indian, but Canada is also dependent on India, and their economy is uh, properly supported by our international students. They are a big chunk of their GDP is coming only from these international students, and Canadian economy is under, you know, it's a slowdown. Their economy is, the people who are there, they are struggling to get work, and in such a situation when the economy is down, when the people from India, they stop investing in sending their children to Canada as a international students, there will be a bigger issue for this Canada. So both the countries need each other's support, and they need to improve their relations at the earliest possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining the topic in such a lucid manner. Uh, on behalf of the team of Apricus Journals, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you for spending your busiest time gracing the occasion. Your thoughts are truly enlightening, and I hope the viewers will get benefited through them. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ji. Thank you. Thank you.